When you wake up in the morning, you are not just opening your eyes to a new day, you are opening the door to the direction of your entire life. Think about it. The first few moments after you rise are not ordinary. They are the blueprint of how your mind, body, and spirit will function for the next 24 hours. The way you start your morning has the power to set your mood, define your choices, and even influence the opportunities you recognize and the challenges you are willing to face. Many people underestimate these sacred hours. They roll out of bed with no structure, rushing into chaos, checking their phones, worrying about yesterday, or feeling anxious about tomorrow. Yet the truth is, your morning decides everything because it decides who you are going to be that day. Jack Ma, one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our time, emphasizes that success is not about luck or waiting for the perfect chance. It is about the small, consistent decisions we make every single day. And what could be more important than the very first decisions you make the moment you wake up? If your morning is filled with distraction, laziness, and negativity, the rest of your day will be a reflection of that. But if your morning is filled with clarity, focus, and energy, then you create a momentum that carries you forward into productivity and growth. The morning is not just a time of day, it is a foundation that either builds strength or weakness into the way you approach life. Imagine two people waking up at the same time. One jumps out of bed, takes a moment of silence, exercises, plans their day, feeds their mind with positivity, and steps forward with confidence. The other snoozes the alarm 5 times, drags themselves out of bed, scrolls through meaningless updates, skips breakfast, and stumbles into the day already behind. Both of them had the same 24 hours, but their mornings made them live completely different lives. That is the unseen power of mornings. It is not about how much time you have, but about how you invest the energy of those early hours into building yourself. The world is full of distractions, challenges, and battles waiting to drain you, but your morning can shield you. Your morning can prepare you. When you own your morning, you own your day. When you own your days, you own your life. That is why successful people, leaders, and visionaries protect their mornings like sacred treasures. They know that if they win the morning, they win everything else. And you too can rewrite your story by simply rewriting your mornings. When you first open your eyes in the morning, you are not just waking up from sleep, you are stepping into the framework of how your entire day will unfold. The quality of your morning is like setting the compass for your journey. If the compass points in the wrong direction, no matter how much effort you put in later, you will find yourself drifting off course. That is why Jack Ma and many other great thinkers emphasize that your morning is not just another part of the day, it is the seed that grows into the tree of your actions, choices, and results. Think about how easily our emotions can influence our decisions. If you begin your morning in frustration, exhaustion, or confusion, your mind carries that weight into every task. Even the simplest responsibilities begin to feel heavier, and opportunities that could have been recognized slip through unnoticed because your vision is clouded. But when your morning begins with energy, focus, and intention, suddenly your mind sharpens. You start seeing possibilities where others see problems. You react with calmness where others lose patience. It is not magic. It is the alignment that comes from starting your day with the right quality. The human brain functions at its peak capacity in the morning after rest, and this time is the most powerful period to fuel yourself with positivity and clarity. If you allow negativity, distractions, or laziness to invade this window, you are essentially programming your brain to run in a low-performance mode for the rest of the day. That is why people who snooze alarms, scroll endlessly through their phones, or wake up with no plan often find themselves drained and unproductive before the day even begins. They are reacting to life instead of creating it. On the other hand, those who master their mornings treat it as sacred time. They move with intention, whether that is through exercise, prayer, meditation, reading, or simply reflecting on their goals. By doing this, they are not only energizing their bodies, but also programming their subconscious minds with direction and purpose. When you decide your morning with clarity, your brain follows that script throughout the day. Your productivity rises, your energy sustains longer, and your decisions carry greater impact because they are rooted in stability, not chaos. Jack Ma once said that opportunities are everywhere, but only a prepared mind can recognize them. Your morning is the preparation ground for that recognition. It shapes the way you speak to people, the way you handle challenges, and the way you pursue your goals. If you win your morning, you give yourself an advantage in everything else that follows. It is like stacking the odds of success in your favor before the world even begins to test you. That is why the quality of your morning is not optional. It is everything. It decides not only how productive your day will be, but also how far your life can go. Morning habits reflect discipline, clarity, and the mindset for success. The habits you cultivate in the early hours of your morning are not just actions. They are reflections of who you are becoming. They tell a story about your discipline, your level of clarity, and the strength of your mindset. Jack Ma often reminds us that success is not built overnight. It is built through daily routines, repeated consistently until they shape your destiny. And mornings are where those routines begin. Discipline is the backbone of success, and nothing reveals your discipline more clearly than your mornings. If you can control the first hour of your day, you can control the rest of it. Waking up on time, resisting the urge to hit snooze, choosing to exercise or feed your mind instead of drowning in distractions, all of these are small acts of self-control that build immense inner strength. A person who wins over themselves in the morning develops a confidence that carries into every challenge they face. Discipline is not about harshness, it is about alignment, and your morning habits align you with the person you are striving to become. But discipline alone is not enough. Your mornings must also carry clarity. Without clarity, you may be busy, but you are not productive. Imagine starting your morning with a plan, even if it's just 3 key tasks that matter most for the day. That clarity acts like a guiding light, helping you avoid wasting energy on things that don't matter. Many people live their days putting out fires, reacting to problems, and constantly feeling overwhelmed. But those who dedicate a few moments in the morning to set intentions and priorities live their days with purpose. They are not tossed around by circumstances because their mornings gave them direction. Then comes mindset, the most powerful element of all. The way you think in the morning sets the tone for how you interpret everything else. If you start with gratitude, optimism, and determination, your mind becomes a filter that sees challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons. On the other hand, if you start with negativity or self-doubt, that same filter will make even small obstacles look like mountains. Your mindset is like the lens you wear to view the world, and your morning is the time when you decide which lens you will put on. Successful people understand this deeply. That is why so many leaders, entrepreneurs, and high achievers protect their mornings fiercely. They use habits such as reading, journaling, exercising, or meditating, not just for health, but to cultivate a disciplined mind, a clear vision, and a resilient spirit. These habits are not random. They are rituals of success. They transform mornings into a launchpad for greatness. When your mornings are filled with disciplined actions, clarity of purpose, and a success-driven mindset, you don't just survive the day, you dominate it. And in the long run, it is not luck or chance that defines you, but these very habits that silently shape the quality of your life. A purposeful start fuels motivation, energy, and decision-making. Every morning is a fresh beginning. A reset button gifted to you after the rest and recovery of the night. How you choose to start that morning directly affects your motivation, your energy levels, and the sharpness of your decisions throughout the day. Jack Ma emphasizes that success is built on choices, and those choices are most powerful when made with a clear, energized, and motivated mind. That is why a purposeful morning is not just a routine, it is a strategy to unlock your best self. When you wake up with purpose, your motivation comes alive. Instead of dragging yourself into the day, you rise with a reason, and that reason becomes fuel. Purpose gives meaning to the smallest actions, making your bed, exercising, reading, or planning your goals. Each step becomes a reminder that you are moving towards something greater than just getting through the day. Without purpose, mornings feel heavy and motivation is weak. But with purpose, even the challenges ahead cannot drain your spirit because you already know why you are doing what you are doing. Energy is the second gift of a purposeful start. A lazy morning leads to a sluggish day. But when you feed your body with movement, good nutrition, and mental clarity at the very beginning, you create an energy reserve that sustains you. Scientific studies show that exercise, fresh air, and mindful breathing in the morning boost endorphins and oxygen flow, which naturally sharpen focus and enhance productivity. It is like charging your inner battery to full capacity before the world even begins to demand anything from you. That energy not only keeps you active, but also elevates your mood, making you more resilient to stress and pressure. The third dimension is decision-making. Every day requires hundreds of decisions, both big and small. A mind that wakes up without direction, filled with distractions, or drained of energy struggles to make wise choices. But when your morning is structured and purposeful, your mind is calmer, clearer, and more decisive. You know what matters, and you know what doesn't. This clarity reduces stress, prevents wasted time, and builds confidence in your actions. A morning routine rooted in purpose acts as a filter, helping you focus on what aligns with your goals instead of scattering your attention on meaningless tasks. Purpose-driven mornings have been the secret of leaders and innovators throughout history. They understand that without direction, energy, and motivation, the day controls you instead of you controlling the day. By taking command of the first hours, they align themselves with power, clarity, and resilience. Your morning then becomes a statement to yourself and to the world that you are not drifting, you are driving. And when you live like this, with each day fueled by purposeful beginnings, success is no longer something you chase. It is something you naturally create. Successful people guard their mornings with positive routines and focus. One of the most striking differences between people who achieve extraordinary success and those who remain stuck in mediocrity is how they treat their mornings. For successful people, the morning is not just another part of the day, it is sacred territory. They understand that the first few hours after waking are the most powerful, because during this time the mind is fresh, the body is renewed, and the spirit is ready to be shaped. That is why they guard their mornings carefully, filling them with routines that feed positivity, discipline, and focus. Positive routines are like anchors that hold you steady in a world full of distractions. When you wake up and start your day with actions that inspire and strengthen you, you are building a protective shield around your mind. For some, this routine might include exercise that awakens the body. For others, it may be prayer or meditation that centers the spirit. And for many, it could be reading or journaling to sharpen the mind. The key is not the exact activity, but the intentionality behind it. Every positive routine sends a message to yourself. You value growth, discipline, and direction more than comfort or chaos. Focus is another defining feature of successful mornings. While most people allow distractions to invade their mornings, checking social media, reading negative news, or reacting to other people's demands, successful individuals deliberately remove these intrusions. They understand that the morning is the only time of day they can truly own before the world begins to pull them in 100 directions. By focusing their attention inward, on their health, their goals, and their priorities, they set a tone of control and clarity that carries through the day. Jack Ma often speaks about the importance of habits and preparation. He knows that success is not about making one great decision in life, but about making the right small decisions every single day. Guarding your morning is one of those decisions. It is a statement of discipline that compounds over time. A person who dedicates the first hour of their day to growth and focus does not need to rely on motivation later because their morning has already designed the momentum for them. Look at the lives of leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries across history, and you will find one thing in common. They protect their mornings fiercely. They avoid negativity, they delay distractions, and they invest those early hours in routines that build their physical strength, mental clarity, and spiritual grounding. That is why, while others are stumbling into the day reactive and unfocused, these individuals move forward with confidence and purpose. Guarding your morning is not about perfection. It is about priority. It is about choosing to start strong rather than drift aimlessly. When your mornings are filled with positive routines and intentional focus, you gain an invisible advantage over the rest of the world. You are not waiting for success to come. You are preparing yourself to meet it fully awake, fully ready, and fully aligned with your purpose. Consistency in mornings builds momentum that impacts long-term success. The true power of mornings is not found in what you do once in a while, but in what you do every single day. Consistency is the bridge between habits and results, and when you apply it to your mornings, it creates a momentum that shapes not just your day, but your entire future. Jack Ma often highlights that success is not about sudden breakthroughs, but about steady growth, built day by day through discipline and patience. This is exactly why your morning routine, when practiced with consistency, becomes one of the most valuable assets in your life. Momentum is one of the greatest forces in human achievement. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill grows bigger and faster with every turn, your mornings, when repeated with discipline, accumulate energy, focus, and strength. At first, waking up early, exercising, or planning your day might feel like small and insignificant steps, but over weeks and months, these small steps begin to compound. You start noticing higher energy levels, sharper decision-making, and stronger self-control. What once felt difficult becomes natural, and what was once a habit becomes a lifestyle. That is the power of consistency. Many people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they lack consistency. They treat their mornings like accidents rather than opportunities. Some days, they start strong. Other days, they let distraction and laziness take over. Without consistency, momentum is lost, and every day feels like starting from zero. But those who commit to a disciplined morning routine understand that it is not about perfection. It is about persistence. Even on days when motivation is low, they show up for their mornings because they know that each repetition is adding strength to their foundation. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep your morning promises, whether it's to wake up on time, to exercise, to plan, or to focus, you are telling your subconscious mind that you can be trusted. Over time, this builds confidence and self-belief, which are essential for achieving long-term success. When you fail to remain consistent, you break that trust with yourself, and doubt creeps in. But when you keep showing up day after day, the confidence you build becomes unshakable. Jack Ma and countless other leaders understand that the big victories in life are the result of small, repeated wins. Winning your morning consistently is one of those small wins that eventually stack up into greatness. It is not glamorous, and often no one else notices, but the results are undeniable. The discipline of your mornings today creates the freedom and success of your tomorrow. When you are consistent in shaping your mornings with intention, you don't just create productive days, you create a momentum that carries into weeks, months, and years. And that momentum, once built, becomes unstoppable. It transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers, not by chance, but by the quiet power of showing up every single morning with purpose. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it is the beginning of your destiny. The way you rise, the choices you make, the mindset you carry, and the habits you practice in those early hours are the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Jack Ma's wisdom reminds us that success is not something far away or unreachable. It is hidden in the small and consistent steps we take every morning. If your mornings are chaotic, your days will be scattered. But if your mornings are purposeful, disciplined, and consistent, your days will flow with clarity, energy, and direction. Every great achievement begins with mastering the small details, and nothing is smaller yet more powerful than how you begin your day. So let this message be a reminder that your mornings are sacred. Guard them, design them, and commit to them. Because when you win your mornings, you win your days, and when you win your days, you win your life. Thank you so much for being with me in this journey of reflection and growth. I truly appreciate your time and attention. May every morning of your life be a step closer to your purpose, your dreams, and your success. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and remember, your morning decides everything.